Hi everybody, welcome. So today we are going to take a look at how to graph ordered pairs. So coordinate plane is a different name for a graph that's you're used to hearing it called a graph. Same thing, Cartesian plane, coordinate plane, all the same thing. We're going to get into some vocab before we get started. So the first thing you need to know is about the origin. The origin's ordered pair is 0, 0, and that is this very middle point in our graph. It's 0, 0. So right where those two axes cross, that is our origin. The next thing is we have our x-axis. Our x-axis is the horizontal line. The right side's positive and the left side is negative. Then we have our y-axis. It goes horizontally up and down. The top part is positive and then the bottom part is negative. And you can tell these just by looking at numbers. So you'll see all positive here, negative here, negative here. And then we have what we call our quadrants. So we have 4 quadrants within a coordinate plane or a graph. So the first one, your ordered pair, is both numbers are positive. The second quadrant, the x is negative, the y is positive. The third quadrant, x and y are both negative, both your numbers are negative. Then last, your fourth quadrant is your x is positive and your y is negative. So here's the way I think about how to number these, okay? Coordinate plane, it starts with the letter C. If I were to draw a C, normally it would go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same way you number your coordinate plane. If you ever need to know what number quadrants you're in, you can know that. So just a different way to put this. So your ordered pair is always x comma y. Your x value always goes first, your y value always goes second. So if your x value is positive, you're going to go right from the origin. If it's negative, you're going to go left. And if it's 0, you're just going to stay in that middle spot in the what we call the origin that we just saw a second ago. For y, it's a little bit different. If it's positive, you go up from your x value that you just drew to, which we're going to see what that means in just a second. If it's negative, you're going to go down. And if it's 0, you're just going to stay where that point is. So let's take a look. Let's practice some things. So we're going to look at 6, 4. You'll notice x is positive and y is positive. So it's going to be in that first quadrant. And so that 6 tells me I'm going to go right because that's positive 6 times. Then I'm going to go up 4 because y is positive. And I have plotted my point there. So you're only going to have one point on the graph for this ordered pair. So now let's look at a different one. So we're at 0, negative 2. Remember, you always start graphing from this origin. So that pink dot that you see on the graph, that is where it starts from every single time. So 0, negative 2. That 0 for x tells me I'm going to stay where I'm at. So I'm going to stay in the origin. That negative 2 for y tells me I'm going to go down, and that is my point. So now we have negative 1, negative 8. They're both negative, so that means I'm going to be in quadrant 3. So I'm going to go left 1 time and down 8. So one thing I want you to make sure that you understand is x is you go left or right, and y you go up or down. That's why it's important to know that your x-axis goes left to right and your y-axis goes up and down. And now we have 5, 0. So this is different than that 0, negative 2 we just saw. Now we have a number for x, which is 5, but we have a 0 for y. That 5 tells me I'm going to go right to x equals 5, and then that 0 tells me I'm going to stay where I'm at. So my point is going to stay there. So now we have negative 7, 3. That negative 7 for x tells me I'm going to go left negative 7. And that 3 tells me I'm going to go up 3 for that positive y. So now we have 3, negative 9. So that positive 3 for x tells me I'm going to go right 3. That negative y tells me I'm going to go down 9. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to actually get this practice in. So you are going to graph the following ordered pairs. So A, B, C, D, E. You'll see these right here. You're going to graph and label them according to their letter. And then for the second part right here, these are already plotted on your graph. You're going to identify the ordered pairs. So you're going to go finish these 10 questions, and then you're going to press play whenever you're ready to see. So let's take a look. So we're going to start with A through E first. And so we are going to look at 0, -3. So that 0 tells me to stay where I'm at. And that -3 tells me to go down 3. So that is my point. And then I'm going to label them according. So this one was called A. So that's why I put an A next to it. Now B is 1, 4. I'm going to go right 1 and up 4 and put my dot for letter B. C, -6. I'm going to go left 6 and I'm going to go up 5 since that Y is positive and then call that C. Then I have D, which is -3, -2. So I'm going to go left 3 for X and I'm going to go down 2 for Y since it's negative. And then I have letter E. So I have +2, 0. That X tells me to go right 2. That 0 tells me to stay where I'm at. And that's letter E. So let's take a look at F. F is -5, -2. So I went left 5, up 2. That's where my point is. G is 4, -6. So I go right 4, down 6. And one thing is important for this is because like we use maps and graphs for all kinds of things. Like maps are just big coordinate planes. They tell us exactly where things are. At some point in your life, you're going to have to figure out where you're going, whether you're driving, whether you're helping somebody drive, whether you're going somewhere. This is what it's telling us. It's telling us a location. It's telling us how to get there. So think about a coordinate plane as kind of like directions. How do I move to get to this specific point? So H is 8, 0. So I should be 8, 0 went right. I should be 9, 9. So I'm going right 9, up 9. And then J should be 0, 1. Big things I want you to remember here. Do you see how H and J are different? For H, when there's a 0 for your Y value, it's going to stay on this one here. It's going to stay on your X-axis. And for J, whenever your X is 0 and you have a number for Y, it's going to just stay on your Y-axis. So just to remember those. So, go be great, y'all.